fellow gamers. In today's video, we are going over the battle system. Like and sub for more amazing gaming content. First thing we got to go over is activating our skills. Every character has 3 skills. We have skill 1, skill 2, and skill 3. Now, skill 3, this third one, this is our burst skill. Now, the only way you can go ahead and activate this is when you see the little burst icon show up in the turn order panel. We're gonna jump into some games and I'll go through it and you'll see it in action. But all right, so here we go. We are in battle. Our turn order right there is in that bottom left. Now, the way this works is it goes from right to left. So in order, this character right here shown at the bottom, this is going to be our first character that is taking an action. You can see we can go ahead and we can use our skill 1, our skill 2. Our burst skill is locked because we do not have that little burst icon above their head. If we take a look and we go deeper into the turn order, you'll notice that some of these characters, they have these little emblems above their head. Now, if we click on these emblems, it's going to tell us that there's different types of panels that are going to be put in the turn order. And by manipulating the turn order, you can go ahead and you can give these boost skill damage or like these positive boosting panels to your team, and you can go ahead and give the negative panels to the enemies simply by just manipulating the turn order. That's what it's all about, is just trying to make sure that you get the boosts and you give the enemies the bad boosts. It's pretty simple. It seems a little bit complicated as a new player, but once you understand, you'll get the hang of it. So this enemy right here, he's gonna go ahead and he's gonna get this boost. We don't want that, so we want someone to take his turn order. So that would be the 3rd spot. So if we can go ahead and we can get one of our characters to get that 3rd spot, then we are going to get that boost. From there, we then have the 5th spot where the enemy is getting another boost. And then if we look a little bit deeper down, we have an enemy right here that's getting a negative boost. This is a weakened panel. It's going to reduce their skill damage by 40%. Now, we also have to take in mind that even though this is showing up over the enemy, as we're going ahead and manipulating this board for us to try and get these positive effects, it's also going to move the negatives. So even though right now the negative is on an enemy, it's very likely that by just manipulating these first couple spots, that negative is going to end up on one of our characters. And if we take a look right here, this one is already a negative starting on one of our characters as well. And that's pretty much it. You can't really kind of like scroll through it any further. You can see a maximum of like 10 spots in order, and then after that you can't really see it anymore. The other thing that's also important to note really quick is the item usage. As we go ahead and we take our characters' turns, our item gauge will go ahead and it will build up, and once this item gauge is full, then we can go ahead and we can start using our items. Now, there is going to be an instance where there are going to be question marks above the enemy's head. That you got to be very careful of, because it means they're going to use like a powerful skill. So you really want to make sure you break their shields, get that stun effect on them. Let's go ahead and we're going to use our skill 2 really quick. We'll just do this. And I'm just kind of just trying to show you examples. So I'm not trying to necessarily win or anything. I'm just trying to show you good examples. We went ahead, we did our attack. Now you'll see the turn order has moved, and now we have that burst icon in that 10th spot. See that little burst icon above our character's head? It's got this little creature looking. Once we get there, that means whatever character is taking that order, they are going to be able to use their burst skill. So there isn't any other way to use your burst skill. It isn't like charging it up or anything like that. It's just whoever is taking their turn in that order that has the little burst icon above their head, they're able to use that burst skill. So we'll go ahead and let me do auto really quick for our next one, and we'll see what the computer does. One important thing that I forgot to mention about using the items is an item will take the very first spot in the turn order when you go ahead and use it. So what this does is it's going to delay all of the other characters' turns, and it's a real easy way to just simply manipulate the turn order. So once we fill our item gauge up, I'll go ahead and I'll show you that. So let's just go ahead and we'll do just some random attacks. Again, just so we can get some demonstration purposes in with this turn order manipulation. You'll see that in this character, we got that positive effect. If we go ahead and we long press on our character, we can see the difference. We have our dealt damage up boost right here, left for 1 turn. We also have a critical rate boost up as well. We can see our resistance, our abilities, and our equipment effects. Now, looking further in the turn order, you're gonna see that the enemy has the burst effect now. It has moved over. So we really don't want the enemy to take that burst effect. And we also have some negative effects on our characters too. We'll go ahead, we'll take our next turn, and then the enemy's gonna get a turn. Unfortunately, they poisoned us. They did some huge damage right there. We'll go ahead, we'll take our next turn, and again, unfortunately, we got a weakened panel on another one of our characters. So if you take a look, we'll see that we do have this skill damage right now. We can use this item, and what it's going to do, you'll see the whole board will completely change. So if we go and use an item, go ahead and let's use the bomb, for instance, and we'll just use this action. Now see in the turn order how it changes. This now becomes the first action, and you'll see that the burst icon is now above our character's head. If I take this off, see how the panel has changed back. The burst icon is now above the enemy. So really take advantage of that. Use the items if you are struggling with your turn order. This is just a simple way to just get that turn order advantage. We went ahead and we stunned an enemy. If we take a look at the turn order, you'll see it has that little stun icon kind of flashing. So you can see that their turn will pretty much be skipped completely. We also have the burst icon. So our next character's turn, we're gonna be able to activate our burst effect. So right there, the burst icon is now unlocked, so we can go ahead and use our super duper strong ability. Let's go ahead, let's activate our burst effect. We get the nice pretty animation going on, and we did a ton of damage to the enemies. We stunned both of them. Now we really manipulated the turn order in our favor. Aside from doing attacks, the other important thing to take in mind is your speed stat also determines your turn order as well. Characters that have a higher speed stat will go a lot sooner than the other characters on your team or the other enemies. So very important stat, never to neglect. Other thing that also goes on with the enemies is they have this thing called odds of being targeted. And basically what it means is that enemies will focus their attacks on characters that have high odds of being targeted, which I'm not quite sure what the game means by that. It's in the help section. It says, however, if there are 2 or more characters in your party with high odds of being targeted, enemies will divide their attacks among them. And then it says certain enemies ignore odds of being targeted. But I don't know specifically how that's determined. There isn't like anything that says a specific stat determines the odds of being targeted or anything like that. That is it. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed the video. Hopefully you have a better understanding about how the panels work and the turn order. It is the most important thing in this game. Like I mentioned in my best beginner's guide, it's all about manipulating the turn order and taking advantage of the buff panels and that burst panel icon as well. Stay happy, stay safe. I'll see y'all later. Peace.